So, good morning to everyone. Today, previously, we have seen the attributes, the different types of attributes, but some types of attributes we didn't uh, discuss, we didn't able to discuss in the previous class. So, today we will discuss about that first, and after that, we will see different integrity constraints, and after that, the data model that is used, and at last, the ER diagram, which we can do. So first, there is the attributes that we have previously discussed, that the single value attributes, then composite attributes, simple attributes, derived attributes. Already we have discussed. The other type of attributes which are left are null attributes. Now, what is the null attribute? Null attribute doesn't have a value or can be left blank. Means this attribute, there can be value present or can be left blank. Means it is optional. Example, if you take the example of a null attribute, that is middle name. Consider the middle name, because whenever you have filled first name you fill and last name you filled, but middle name, there may be a person who have middle name, or maybe a person who's there is no middle name. Okay, so if we consider null attributes, it doesn't have the value and can be left blank, or say it can be optional or can be left blank. Means there can be value present or there cannot be value also present. So if in a relation of a student, means there is a table of a student, and then there a attribute is the student middle name. Now any student, he or she have middle name, or he or she doesn't have the middle name. It may be possible. So this type of attributes we call the null attributes. And like email ID, it is also optional that the student may have email ID or may not have the email ID. So it is optional. So this type of attributes we call the null attributes. Then next, prime attributes. What are the prime attributes? The attributes which participated in the candidate key. Means the attributes which is chosen as the is set of candidate key. We know that candidate key is what? It is the super key, the set of minimal set of super key. We already previously we have know that what is the candidate key? Candidate key is the minimal set of super key. So the attributes which participated in the candidate key, the attributes or a group of attributes that already participated as the candidate key, is called the prime attribute. And the attributes which doesn't participated, attributes or a group of attributes which doesn't participated in the candidate key, means this attribute or a group of attribute is not chosen as the primary key. I'm sorry, it is not chosen as the candidate key. Then we can say what? Then we can say this is the non-prime attributes. So these are the type of attributes, total type of attributes. So null attributes is basically what? Null attributes is basically we can left blank. This attributes value can be left blank or maybe filled. Then prime attributes, the attributes which participated in the candidate key, means the attribute or a group of attribute which is chosen as the candidate key is called the prime attributes. And the non-prime attributes is what? The leftover attributes, or we can say the attribute or the group of attribute which doesn't participated in the candidate key are called what? Non-prime attributes. Okay, so these are the type of attributes. Now we will see different type of integrity constraints. So there are basically 4 types of integrity constraint present in our DBMS. One is domain constraint, another one is entity integrity constraint, another is referential integrity constraint, and key constraint. So we'll discuss one by one about that. So what are these constraints? So first, we will know what is domain constraint. Now, domain constraint can be defined as the definition of a valid set of values for an attribute. Domain constraint is basically, it is a definition of a valid set of values. Means it is the definition of the valid set of values for an attribute. Now, the data type of a domain, the data type of a domain includes string, character, integer, time, date, currency, etc. Means its data type can be any of it. It can be string, it can be character, it can be integer, it can be date, it can be currency, etc. And the value of the attribute must be available in the corresponding domain. Now, if you see example, it will be more clear. Like this is a relation. This is a relation, or we can say this is a table of a student database. Now here in this, 4 attributes are present. Here you can see there are 4 attributes present: ID, name, semester, and age. Now this attribute ID, this attribute contains all the integer values. All the integer values. See, this contain 1, 2, 3, 4. That means this attribute contain all the integer values. This is the next attribute, that is name. Now this attribute contains what? This attribute contains alphanumeric value, or we can say this attribute can contain string values. So the name will be of a string type. So what? This attribute name contains the string value, and this is another attribute, that is semester. And now this attribute, what? This attribute contains first, second, third, fourth. Means this attribute is also contain alphanumeric values. And the fourth attribute, what? The fourth attribute is age. The fourth attribute is age. In this age attribute, we always what? We always store in age attribute integer values. Now, in any case, we try to, when we are storing the fourth value, you can see when we are storing the fourth value, we have put ID 4. That means, okay, it is the integer value we have put. Then in the name attribute, we have put D. This is a string, or we can say alphanumeric value, okay. Then in the semester attribute, when we enter fourth, that means it is also an alphanumeric value. But during age attribute, you can see we have filled star. Then it is basically, when we put the star, it is basically opposing the what? Domain constraint. Because in the age attribute, we have to put only integer values, because all the values that is present in the age attribute is of integer values. So we have to put only integer values. But what? We have put star. Then this is the mismatch of the data type. The mismatch of the data type. This cannot be done. If this occurs, then we can say that it is opposing the what? Domain constraint. It is opposing the domain constraint. So this is basically the domain constraint, that the value of the attribute must be available in the corresponding domain. So here in this age attribute, you should have to put an integer value. Otherwise, it will opposing the domain constraint. So this is basically the domain constraint. Okay, clear till now? This clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
सर
Hmm.
सर अगर मानिए कि वो नेम की जगह अगर कोई इंटीजर वैल्यू दे देते तब सर वो भी तो डोमेन कांस्टेंट होगा।
तुमको इधर क्या है कि इंटीजर वैल्यू ही देना होगा, मतलब जिस एट्रीब्यूट के लिए जो डेटा टाइप तुमको स्पेसिफाई कर दिया है उसको छोड़ के कोई दूसरे डेटा टाइप तुम उस एट्रीब्यूट के पास नहीं दे सकते। ये अगर तुम कोई दूसरे एट्रीब्यूट का डेटा टाइप का एट्रीब्यूट तुम उधर देने गए, सॉरी कोई दूसरे डेटा टाइप का कोई वैल्यू तुम उधर देने गए, तब मतलब क्या है कि ये डोमेन जो डोमेन इंटीग्रिटी कांस्टेंट है उसको क्या है, उसको वो मैच नहीं कर रहा है, इनवैलिड हो जा रहा है। इसलिए क्या है कि तुम जो डेटा टाइप उस एट्रीब्यूट के लिए जो डेटा टाइप तुम मेंशन करोगे उस डेटा टाइप को ही तुमको क्या है, उस डेटा टाइप का वैल्यू तुमको देना होगा। सेम एज दैट तुम आईडी में कोई अल्फा न्यूमेरिक कैरेक्टर देने गए तो वो भी क्या है, डोमेन कांस्टेंट को ये कर रहा है, मिसमैच कर रहा है, क्योंकि आईडी में क्या डेटा टाइप प्रेजेंट है, आईडी में भी इंटीजर डेटा टाइप प्रेजेंट है, तो मुझे इंटीजर वैल्यू उधर देना है, कोई दूसरे डेटा टाइप का वैल्यू हम उधर नहीं दे सकते।
सर वो डेटा पहले से मेंशन करना पड़ता है कोडिंग में, मतलब कि
हाँ बोलो।
मानिए कि आईडी 1234 लिए तो ये इंटीजर टाइप है, तो सर ये वाला डेटा टाइप पहले मेंशन करना पड़ता है।
तुमको तुमको पहले मेंशन कर देना होगा। हम अभी तक तो एसक्यूएल का कमेंट नहीं दिखा है, एसक्यूएल का कमेंट जब दिखेंगे तब देखोगे, फर्स्ट तुमको मेंशन कर देना है कि तुम्हारा जो एट्रीब्यूट है वो एट्रीब्यूट किस टाइप का होगा, वो फर्स्ट मेंशन कर देना है, और प्राइमरी की भी कौन सा होगा वो तुमको मेंशन कर देना है। इसका कोड है वो, जो हम तुम उस क्लास में थे क्या नहीं, डीडीएल जो कमेंट दिखाए थे, उस डीडीएल कमेंट को यूज करके हम लोग देखेंगे। ये बाद में हम देखेंगे, जब एसक्यूएल कमेंट जब देखेंगे उस टाइम देख पाओगे कि हम लोगों को मेंशन कर देना है डेटा टाइप। ठीक है।
यस सर।
सो दिस इज द sorry, this is the domain constant. Now we will see entity integrity constant. The second type of the integrity constant is entity integrity constants. Now entity integrity constant states that primary key value cannot be null. Means entity integrity constant defined that the value of the primary key cannot be null, and this is because the primary key value is used to identify individual rows in a relation. Why it cannot be null? Because primary key is used to identify individual rows in a relation. That's why we choose the primary key, because primary key is an attribute which uniquely identifies a tuple or a row in a relation. That's why the value of the primary key cannot be null. Because if the primary key value will be null, then we cannot identify the rows. Then how can we identify the rows? So entity integrity constant states that the primary key value cannot be null, and the table contain a null value, then the primary key field. Because in this table, there may be null value present, means there cannot be some in attributes, there's some in case any of the field, there may be null value, means no value present. It can contain that, it can contain like that. But in case of primary key, there will be no null value present in the primary key. So this states the entity integrity constant, that the primary key value cannot be null. The table in which the primary key present can contain null value other than the primary key field. So that means primary key value cannot be null, but the table can contain null values. Okay, so this is the entity integrity constant. Next is the referential integrity constant. The referential integrity constant is specified between two tables. Now this referential integrity constant is basically specified between the two tables. And this referential integrity constant is basically the concept of the foreign key. It is basically the concept of the foreign key. So in foreign key, what we have done, we have seen in the foreign key, if you remember that in foreign key, two tables are present. Now here also you can see two tables are present. One is table 1 and another one is table 2. In table 1, 4 attributes are present. What is employee name, then name, age, D number. D number is basically the department number. So this should be not employee name, this should be an employee ID. Okay, this should be an employee ID. So now in this employee ID, this is the primary key of this table 1. Employee ID is basically what? Employee ID is basically the primary key of the table 1. And another table is present. In this table, there are two attributes present, department number and department location. These two attributes are present. Now you see in table 1, employee ID is basically the primary key. But here also you can see department number is also present. Now, through this department number, we can basically what? In DBMS concept, we know there will be the relationship between the two tables. This is the relational DBMS that the two tables must be related to each other. So how the two tables can be the relation can be take place? Because you see there is department number, this in this table there is department number present. In the table 2 also the department number is present. But in this table 2, department number is the primary key of this table 2. So the department number present in the table 1, the table 1 has already the primary key employee ID, and the table 2 has the primary key as the department number. So the department number that is present on the table 1, what it will be? It is the foreign key. We can say this is the foreign key. Now there are some constraints that the foreign key, the value, you can see in the table 2, the department number, there are two values, D1, D2. And department location, there is Delhi and Meerut. These are written. Now in this foreign key, you can see that as department number, we cannot define D3. We cannot use D3. You can see in the department number, which is defined as the primary key. The department number, which is defined as the primary key in table 2, there are only two values, D1 and D2. So in this foreign key, only these two values should be present, D1 or D2. But a new value, we cannot use any new value that is not present in the primary key. As a primary key in that table, D3 is not present here. So we cannot define that. The new value cannot be defined. So either we can use null stuff in the foreign key concept, there can be null present. So there can be null, or otherwise we can say only these two values should be present. So this will be not allowed. D3 will be not allowed because this D3 is not present here. This D3 is not present in the department number, that is the primary key of the table 2. So we cannot define in the foreign key, we cannot define any new value that is not present on that table. We can contain the null value or the value that is already present, we can only use that. Okay, so this is the referential integrity. समझ में आया? Referential integrity का concept?
Yes, sir.
So this is the basically referential integrities concept, that when we use the relationship, because foreign key is used for what? Foreign key is used because in that table it will be the foreign key, but in another table, what? This particular attribute will be the primary key of another table. So what the things that the value that is present on that primary key, those values should be present on the foreign key also. Any extra values cannot be present. So here you can see D1 and D2, these two values present. So in this foreign key, D1 and D2 is present. But here we can use null value. It may be possible that there is null value. In foreign key, we can contain null values. So in case of D3, if we write null value, means we didn't use some values, then we say that it is okay. But a new value cannot be used because it is the primary key of another table. So this is the referential integrity.
सर
Here you can see,
सर अगर वहाँ पर नल वैल्यू यूज करेंगे तो सर उनका जो टेबल 2 है सर उसमें लोकेशन क्या रहेगा?
थोड़ा ये बोलो, तुम्हारा वॉइस क्लियर नहीं हुआ।
सर जहाँ टेबल 1 में D3 की जगह अगर हम लोग नल वैल्यू यूज करते हैं और टेबल 2 में उसका लोकेशन क्या आएगा सर?
देखो ये वाला जो है ना, हम समझा दे रहे हैं फिर एक बार। ये जो है डी नंबर, ये तुम्हारा प्राइमरी की है, टेबल 2 का प्राइमरी की, ठीक है। टेबल 2 का ये प्राइमरी की है। अब दूसरे टेबल में तो ये प्राइमरी की नहीं हो सकते हैं, ये क्या होगा, दूसरे टेबल के लिए फॉरेन की होगा। अब इसमें जो वैल्यू प्रेजेंट रहेगा, ये जो प्राइमरी की है, इस प्राइमरी की में जो वैल्यू प्रेजेंट होगा, फॉरेन की में भी वही वैल्यू प्रेजेंट होगा। वो छोड़ के कुछ और प्रेजेंट नहीं हो सकते हैं। इधर तुम जो वैल्यू दोगे वही वैल्यू ओनली प्रेजेंट हो सकते हैं। हाँ, तुम कह सकते हो कि मुझे कोई जगह में कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, हम नल लिख सकते हैं। अब हाँ, इसके बेसिस में क्या है कि क्यों हम फॉरेन की में नल दे सकते हैं। देखो फॉरेन की से तो हम लोग प्राइमरी की जो है, प्राइमरी की से हम लोग क्या करते हैं, कोई आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं एट्रीब्यूट और ग्रुप ऑफ एट्रीब्यूट। सॉरी, इट इज द एट्रीब्यूट। प्राइमरी की क्या है कि ये एक एट्रीब्यूट है जो यूनिकली डिफाइन करते हैं हम लोगों का टपल को। बट फॉरेन की का तो कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है ऐसे। फॉरेन की तो यूनिकली डिफाइन नहीं कर रहा है कोई टपल और रिलेशन को, कोई टपल को यूनिकली डिफाइन नहीं कर रहा है। तो इसलिए क्या है, इधर हम नल दे सकते हैं क्योंकि ये कोई यूनिकली डिफाइन नहीं कर रहा है टपल को। तो यूनिकली डिफाइन करने के लिए तो मेरा प्राइमरी की ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट है। तो इधर क्या है कि हम फॉरेन की जगह में नल दे सकते हैं।
यस सर।
ठीक है
सर,
सर
हाँ
फॉरेन की का वैल्यू रिपीट हो सकता है?
हाँ रिपीट हो सकते हैं। इधर रिपीटिंग तो दिए हैं, हम रिपीट हो सकते हैं, सब कुछ हो सकते हैं, मगर न्यू वैल्यू सिर्फ हम नहीं दे सकते हैं। जैसे इधर D3, देखो ये जो D3 हम देने गए, इधर D3 हम देने गए, D3 इधर अगर प्रेजेंट होते तब हम यूज कर सकते थे। बट D3 प्राइमरी की में प्रेजेंट नहीं है, तो हम उसको कैसे यूज करेंगे, उसको हम यूज नहीं कर पा सकते हैं। ठीक है,
तब सर वो एम्प्लॉय आईडी 3 उसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है?
कौन सा?
सर वो जहाँ पर D3 है तो सर वो जो पूरा रो है एम्प्लॉय आईडी 3 वाला, तो सर उसका कोई वैल्यू नहीं है?
नहीं, उसका वैल्यू नहीं क्यों है, उसका वैल्यू है उसका। हाँ, तुम इधर बोल सकते हो, ये तो हम दिखाए कि ये जगह में ये जो है ये प्रॉब्लम अराइज हुआ। यही तो हम लोगों का रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी जो है डीबीएमएस का, वो क्या होगा, इसको अपोज करेगा। ये रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी इसको अपोज कर देगा। अब हम D3 जब पुट किए, जब भी D3 पुट किए तभी क्या होगा, इसमें प्रॉब्लम ऑकर होगा। तो रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी ये जो है इसमें दिखाएगा कि ये एरर है, क्योंकि ये क्या है कि उसका जो ये है वायलेशन कर रहा है, रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी को वायलेशन कर रहा है। तो इसलिए क्या होगा कि उधर प्रॉब्लम डॉकर होगा, ये वायलेट कर रहा है। हम D3 जब देने गए तो ये क्या है कि रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी का वायलेशन कर रहा है ये। क्लियर है?
यस सर।
So this is the referential integrity of So what we have seen, domain integrity, then what? Then entity integrity constant. And after that, this is the integrity constant, referential integrity constant. And the fourth type of integrity constant is the fourth type of integrity constant, which we know, that is the key constant. That is the key constant. Key constant is basically same as that, like keys are the entity set that is used to identify an entity within the entity set uniquely. Now, in the entity set, there can have multiple keys, but out of which one key will be the primary key. And the primary key can contain unique value in the relational table, or we can say in the table. That keys are basically what we have seen, that super key, candidate key, then primary key, foreign key, unique key, all the keys are in the entity set present, that is used to identify what entity within the entity set uniquely. An entity set, a particular entity set can have multiple keys present. An entity set can have multiple keys present, but out of which one key will be the primary key. A particular key that is basically uniquely identify. If we choose that key will uniquely identify all the attributes, or we can say that uniquely identify all the tuples that present in the relation. So this key should be chosen as the primary key, and primary key contain the unique value in the relational table. So this is basically the integrity constant, the all for integrity constant. So if you remember, I have said that integrity constant, why use integrity constants in a relation? Integrity constant is used so that our data secure for our data. So these constants are integrity constants are used. Okay. So next is the so we have already shown the constants, but what is the entity basically is? What is basically the entity is? Entity is basically can be any real world object. Entity is basically any real world object that can be easily identifiable. Means we can easily identify this type of real world object. We can say this is the identifiable, or we can say it is the real world object. Now, if we consider a school database or a college database, in this database, in the school, how many entities are present? In school, there is a student. So student is the real world object. So that means student can be an entity. Teacher is also present in the school. So it is also a real world object. So teacher can be an entity. There may be course, because the course is present. This is also a real world object. The course, that is the student are enrolled in the course, or the teacher is studying that or doing the offering that course. Then the course will also be an entity present in the school database. The classes, the student, that this class, first year class, second year class, third year class. So what? These classes will also be the real world object. In school, there is a management also. Their management are also present. So management can also be a real world object. So every possible real world object will known as the entity. And all of these entities, all of this entity has an attribute. Now, what is the purpose of that attribute that are present? The attribute. What is the purpose of that attribute? The purpose of the attribute that it gives the property for them to identity. To identify them, to identify the entity, the properties are given. Means if, like, we take the student entity, then a student entity, the property of a student, what? The student has some student ID. The student have some student name. The student has some address. The student has some phone number. The student has some what? Email ID. The student has address. So all of these properties will be the attribute. So student is an entity and its attribute are what? This student ID, student name, student phone number, student address, student email ID. All of this will be the attribute. So what of these attributes are doing? These are defining the properties, defining the behavior or the properties of an entity. So this is basically the entity and the attributes. This attributes is used for identity of an entity. Clear? It is clear to everyone that what is entity and what is the attributes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is basically the entity and this is the attributes. So we'll go, this will be required during the ER diagram. So first, previously doing the ER diagram, we'll first know some of the database concepts, and after knowing the database concepts, we'll move to the ER diagram. So first, there are three types of data model present in the DBMS. One is relational data model, another one is network data model, and third one is the hierarchical data model. So the relational data model, what this relational data model states? In this data model, data is organized into tables. Relational data model states that the data is organized into tables, means rows and columns. Data are organized as the row and columns. So what we have already seen that are present in the relational data model, because all up till now, all the data are stored in the table. We have seen that. So basically we can say that till now what we have seen, it is all of the relational data model. The data are stored in the table format on rows and columns format. So like in this, if you consider the relational data model, that here we are using two relation. So in data model, relational data model, what? In relational data model, we have already shown that the table is called the relation and columns are called the attributes and rows are called tuples. And the relationship between two tables are done by what? Foreign key concepts. And uniquely identify a tuple in a relation is done by the primary key. So all these concepts are present on the relational data model. This is basically the relational data model. Till now, what we have seen, all of this follows this property, this relational data model. Till now, what we have seen, because we have known that what the table is called the relation, then the columns are known as the attributes, the rows are known as the tuples, and the relationship between two tables is done by the foreign key. Through foreign key, we can make the relationship between the two tables. And the primary key concept is used for uniquely identify a tuple in a relation. This is basically the relational data model. Then next is the network data model. Now, what is network data model? In this data model, data is represented by the collection of records. In this data model, the data is represented by the collection of records, and the relationship among the data are represented by the links. That the data which are present in the database or the data model, we can say in the data model, the data is present. It is the relationship among the data is done by the using some link, and the data is represented by the records. So what is record? Basically, the record is the collection of attributes. Record is the collection of attributes, each of which one contains only one data value. Means record is the collection of attribute, and each attribute can contain only one data value. There may not possible that an attribute contain two values. That is, this is the example that if we consider, it is what we have seen, the record is the collection of attributes. So that means we can, in the collection, we can say class. Class is a record which contains number. Here you can see contains number and head. So it is the collection of two attributes. So we can say class is the what? This here, the class, here we can see the class. So class is the relation name. So we can say class is the record because it contains two attributes, number and head. But you can see in each attribute, only one data value is present. You cannot see in number, there is one also and another value, two also present. It is not possible. Only one data value should be present there. That's why it is called the records. So the records is the collection of attributes, each of which contains only one data value. And we can say the relationship among the data are represented by link. So what is the link? Now, link is basically the association between two records. Link is basically the association between two records. If you see that, what are the records I have till now? 1 minute. Till now, what records are present? We can say class is a record because what record is the collection of attributes. So class is a record which contain number and head, these two attributes. And student is another record. The student is another record which contains student ID, student name and class. So these are the two records, class and student. Now the number attributes of class is linked with the class attribute of student record. Number attribute of class record, number, this is the number, this is an attribute of class record,